Well, good morning, my friends. Safety Sally here. I've had this similar question so many times that I've answered individually in each of the comments over time, and I just got it again last week, and I promised you I'd do this video. The question? What's my plan when I'm out alone in the forest and I injure myself? I mean, hey, GP, do you actually even have a plan? What's going to happen to you when you put that chainsaw into the side of your leg and you're all alone, acres back in the forest? It's a great question, and yes, I have a plan, and I'll share it with you today. It might not be the best plan, but I welcome your comments. Let's get to it. So right off the bat, no, I'm not going to go off on a big tangent about PPE. I think I've talked enough about that, and you folks know how I feel about it. What we are going to talk about is what you've been asking is, do I have a plan in the event I get injured? Whether I'm with my buddies or I'm by myself as I was last week, which prompted this question again from one of you. I mean, you're running chainsaws, 20, 30-ton splitters, big tractors that could do a lot of damage amongst all other types of outdoor power equipment, whether it's pole saws, string trimmers, all kinds of different attachments or implements for the tractor. Something can happen. And the one thing that I'm hoping some of you that are new to property, especially like me, born and raised in the city, you're not in the city anymore. And what that means is, if you call 911, you're not going to get that average 4-minute response time we get in the city. We've had 2 incidents up here in the last 2.5 years, and I just wanted to point it out for example. Not against the ambulance or the police, but it's a big remote or rural territory that they all cover. And the coverage is not as concentrated as it is in big cities. We had one incident, we were out in the forest, I thought one of my friends was having a heart attack. It took 47 minutes for the ambulance to get there. Well, we thought he was having a heart attack. Fortunately, the police showed up about 40 minutes later, just before the ambulance, which was great. Got him off to the hospital and, well, the story ended well. The second incident occurred on this very concession road. It took 25 minutes for ambulance to arrive. In other words, if something does happen to you in the forest, you need to have a plan. So here's mine. Can you see that red thing back there? Yep, I got a first aid kit. Now, of course, it's not doing me much good sitting in the tractor if I'm 50 or 60 or 70 yards away bucking logs in the forest. So maybe something that I can improve is to actually carry it with me when I start to get further and further from the tractor. But I've got one. Let's take a look at what's inside it. I got this off of Amazon. They've got tons of them on Amazon. This one in particular was about $55 Canadian. But you know, if you do have a medical supply place in town, you can probably just go there and get one. Or you can check out what they've got. It's a basic kit, whole lot of gauze, scissors, bunch of Band-Aids, depressors, cotton. There's a number of different things in here, tons of gauze pads, blanket for keeping warm, poncho to keep the rain off you, a lot of tape or medical tape, a couple of cold compresses, triangle bandage. It's got all of that stuff in there. However, I know what you're thinking. GP, do you have a tourniquet? Isn't that kind of one of the most important things you should have? I do. In fact, I just wanted to put a shout out to a lovely woman named Jean Hardy. Lovely lady, lives down in the US, been with the channel a long time. She's running a Kubota tractor, and she was so worried about me, she shipped me a tourniquet to make sure I had one. So I do, and it is super important to have it. I'm not an expert, I'm certainly not trained in first aid, since high school anyways, but there's directions in there, I've read them, I know how to put it on when I need to, and it's here in my first aid kit, and it's out with the tractor if I'm in the forest. A really big sticky point for me, you have never ever seen me operate any type of equipment on this channel unless I was wearing proper safety boots. That's Green Patch CSA approved boots only. It's all I use. Steel toe, steel shank. Sure footing and foot protection. So important. Sometimes I get a little crazy because I watch some other channels and you've got guys operating tractors wearing flip-flops, or they're out in the forest and they're bucking logs with a big old Stihl or Husqvarna and they're wearing running shoes. I strongly recommend you consider it. In fact, I take it so seriously. Even my mud boots, or green patch. Steel toe, steel shank. Every time. Oh, that's great, GP, but you still haven't told us, what's your emergency plan if you get injured? Here's what I do. Always have my phone with me. Quite often it's in the tractor. Again, I know, not helpful if it's 100 yards away from me. But I also this year have an Apple Watch. It's a 7, so it's cell-based. I don't even have to touch it. I just have to speak, and I can call 911 from where I am. Very helpful. Bigger part of the plan is even though I'm out there alone, I'm never there unless at least one person knows where I am and what I'm doing. And that's whether it's my neighbor Guy, Husky Bob, or my wife, or sometimes a combination of both or all three. They know what I'm doing, they know what I'm up to. In the case of my wife, she expects some kind of a check in a text message or something every hour and a half or so. And if she doesn't get it, she starts texting and calling. And if she doesn't hear from me, she contacts Bob or Guy and asks them to go back and check on me. I know it's not foolproof, but it's a plan. I've got communication. People always know where I'm at. I carry my first aid kit with me. I've got a tourniquet. I try to wear the proper PPE. Again, I won't get into detail on that. But even as far as footwear, green patch, I've got work gloves, and I make sure people know where I am all the time. So even if I'm alone, I'm not really alone. So hey, that's my plan in prevention. I'd always welcome comments or suggestions in the comments below this video. Always welcome. But I'll leave you with one question. Do you have a plan? I'll see you again on the next one. Cheers.